Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful Saturday once again, and we are grateful to you for being here with us. If you do not know what this is a Dose of Encouragement Incorporated, and today is another day that God has brought us um, live again. As you all know, we do this every Saturday morning on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel. But today, quick, I see you here. Today, we're trying something new. We added TikTok to it. So you are very welcome to a Dose of Encouragement. When you get on here, please do me a favor and share for me. If you do not know what this is a Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. And this is one part of our umbrella where we learn from each other on Saturday mornings, right? You learn from me, I learn from you, encouraging one another. So when you get on here, double tap on the screen for me and let's interact with one another. You are very much welcome. My name is Amanda Krufia, and this is a Dose of Encouragement Incorporated as we come your way every Saturday morning. So as you can see today, our topic is the strength of vulnerability. And today, as I said, we are doing something new, right? By adding TikTok to it to see how it goes. So if you see me having my eyes all over the place, that is the reason why. You are very much welcome. You are very much welcome. Let's interact and let's keep this going. So the strength of vulnerability, as I share, do share for me. Let me know where you all are tapping in from. It is always a pleasure and a blessing to be on here with you. It is always nice to encourage ourselves. It is always good to have you on here. CJ, I see you on here. DJ, I see you on here. Adi, I see you on here. Martin, I see you on here. If I'm not able to mention your name, pardon me, as we share this. So you are very much welcome. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. My name is Amanda Kofia. So let's dive right into it. The strength of vulnerability, right? As I share on the other side of here, the strength of vulnerability, the strength of vulnerability, right? And let us make this um how do I call it, interactive. What do you think about the topic? Let me put this on do not disturb. Do not disturb, right? So you are very much welcome. So as we can see, as I said vulnerability is often perceived as weakness, right? Most of us, we know this as, oh, if you are vulnerable, you are weak. If you are vulnerable, you don't know what you're doing. If you are vulnerable, you don't know what exactly is going on. It's always perceived as weakness, yet it is one of the most powerful tools that you can have as a person. It is one of the most powerful tools you can have as an individual. Guys, when you get on here, if you are on TikTok, double tap for us. To let's take this up there for us. Double tap for us, right? It is always perceived as weakness. It is always perceived as, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea what this is going. That is how it is perceived. But it is one of the most powerful things that you can have, one of the most powerful tools that you can have for personal growth, for professional growth, right? It is always embrace, or you always have to embrace yourself as authentic as you can be, right? Helping you foster deeper connections, helping you get to that space you want to get to, helping you get to that space where you uncomfortable getting to, right? Most of us, we do not want to get out of our comfort zone. We do not want to get out of where we are okay. We do not want to get out of there. But sometimes we got to be vulnerable, right? We got to open up. We got to see to it that we are not only being put in one space, but we are exploring as much as we can, right? As much as we can, we got to foster deeper connections. We got to develop resiliency. We got to be able to put ourselves out there and say, hey, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm worried, but I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna come in. Amanda, I see you here. Namesake, how are you doing? Andrea, I see you here. I'm gonna do my very best to put myself out there, right? So in embracing vulnerability, it helps us to grow, right? And I wrote here, I said, being vulnerable means stepping out of your comfort zone and acknowledging the areas for improvement, acknowledging the areas you want to see yourself grow, acknowledging the areas you want to see yourself expand, acknowledging the areas that you are able to work on. Accept feedbacks. Open up to new possibilities, open up to new things, open up to new growth, open up to what is possible out there, right? What is possible out there? What can I do to develop myself? What can I do to get to places that I am not comfortable at? What can I do to do A, B, C, and Z? That is what we are talking about here. Being resilient, being vulnerable to help you, being vulnerable to allow you grow, being vulnerable to allow you get to a space of growth, a space of peace, a space of understanding, a space where you are not only comfortable with where you are, but allowing yourself to feel the uncomfortability. That is what we're talking about here. So embracing vulnerability for growth. Guys, let me know what you think about the topic in the chat. Let me know what you think in the chat. If you see me on here, we are sharing on our other platforms, so pardon us and help us out. Let's reduce this. Right, double tap. If you do have any questions at all, also put that in the chat for us. Put that in the chat for us as well. All right, as I said, today we're trying something new where we have our my personal TikTok on to see how it goes. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube as well, right? So embracing vulnerability for growth, stepping out of your comfort zone. Please play the song Up Above by Alexander Hips. Right, stepping out of your comfort zone, right? To get to the place you have to be. I said, being vulnerable means accepting feedbacks too. Accepting the possibility of, hey, this is what this person is saying. Let me take a look at it. This is what this person is saying. Let me see how well it can help me. Let me see how best I will be able to incorporate whatever is good in there into my life, into the things I'm doing, into the journey that I am on, right? That is what we have to do. That is what we have to do. Bear with me as we do this on here, right? That is what we have to do, right? So vulnerability also builds resilience. It allows us to be able to stand anything and everything that comes our way. What is that one thing that you are dealing with that you think that, oh, I'm so ashamed to talk about it. I'm so afraid to talk about it. I don't know if this is going to help. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that. Right? Build that tough skin. Build that resilience, right? By being vulnerable. Right? So I said that building vulnerability means that you allow yourself to be vulnerable. We foster genuine connections. We foster genuine relationships with others, right? When you admit that I need help, when you admit that I have made mistake, when you admit that, hey, this thing I did, I didn't do it well, you are being your authentic self. But what do we see most times, right? We all want to be somebody else. We all, because we are doing what is popular and not what is right most of the time. Some of us, that's what we're doing, right? But we should be able to do what is uncomfortable, even in the trying moments, even in the difficult moment, even when we think that, oh, things are not going well for us. So I said, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you foster genuine connections with others, right? You build trust. Show up for yourself. Show up as authentic as you can be. Because guess what? You were made one in a million. Yes, you might have somebody having similar qualities like you, but they can never be like you. They can never be like you. So wherever you find yourself, bloom. Wherever you find yourself, grow. Wherever you find yourself, take dominion over that place. And in doing so, be vulnerable as well to build that connections. Because there is a saying that when you sell your sickness, that's where you get medication for it, right? Translating it in my Ghanaian language. So if I'm being vulnerable to open up and say, I need help, I need support, it doesn't make me weak. It only opens up the space. It only opens up the avenue for growth. It opens up the ability for me to get to do more, the ability for me to get to learn more, the ability for me to grow, build connections, and be resilient in doing so as well. If you are new here, welcome. This is A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. This is one aspect of our main thing that we do, right? A Dose of Encouragement is a nonprofit that our main mission and our main goal is to support the needy one way or the other, as little as we can, right? We believe in a heart that cares to a hand that gives, right? It's not about the amount we give, but it's about the heart behind it. And this is a sub umbrella where we come your way every Saturday morning to learn from one another, encouraging one another. So if you are here, and as I said earlier on in the live, today we're trying something different. Today we have added TT on there as well. So you are very much welcome. If you are seeing me for the very first time, you are very much welcome. This is A Dose of Encouragement, and I am your host and founder of A Dose of Encouragement Inc., right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know in the chat what your questions are and contribute, right, to the live as well. Thank you so much. Also, for those of you on TT and other platforms, double tap and let us know where you are watching me from. Thank you, right? So we build that connection. Don't let anybody tell you that you being vulnerable, you are weak. Don't let anybody telling you that you being opening up to getting support, to getting help, to getting help from friends and family, you are weak. You are not. If anything at all, that shows your strength. That shows what you are willing to do to put yourself up here. That shows what you're willing to do to get to the space or get to the level where you want to be. Building resilience, building connections, right? That is the strength we get, some of the strength we get in being vulnerable. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what anybody is saying. Continue building that resilience. Continue building that connections. Grow through it. Because I always say that there is one thing that we don't stop doing: growing. Right? So if you are willing to grow, it doesn't matter if you are vulnerable. If you are willing to grow, it doesn't matter what anybody says. You know what you want to get. You know where you want to get to. You know how you want to get there. And so you opening up doesn't make you weak. If nothing at all, it makes you strong, right? Because being vulnerable to things, it's one of the most powerful tools that anybody can have to grow professionally and personally, right? Building that deeper connection is what we got to talk about here, is what we have to see, is what we have to do here. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you that you are not worth it because you are being vulnerable, because you are opening up, right? I said, in being vulnerable, it allows us to overcome our fears. It allows us to overcome that things that we are uncomfortable about. It allows us to overcome that things that we don't want to see, that place that we feel so scared of going. Overcoming that fear. Overcoming that fear of yours. Right? Overcome it. I said fear of failure often prevents growth. right? But vulnerability shifts our perspective. It shifts the way we think. It shifts the way we see things, right? Instead of avoiding discomfort, right? We can reframe that as an opportunity for development, right? There is something that John Maxwell said. He said, fail early, often, but always fail forward. So it doesn't matter if you failed yesterday. It doesn't matter if you failed this morning. It doesn't matter if you failed 2 minutes ago. Keep pushing through. Keep going strong. Keep riding on, right? Keep riding on and don't stop because you failed. Don't stop because you're vulnerable. Don't stop because you are afraid of failing. Because I always say this, there are so many billionaires out there that didn't try once and got it, right? They tried multiple times before they got what they needed to get. So if it is anything that you're going through that you think that, hey, I'm failing, I don't know what to do, but I'm so uncomfortable on here. I'm here to tell you something. You keep doing it because you know what? Every little step that you make will push you forward. Every little step that you make will take you one step closer to that goal. Will take you one step closer to that dream that you're looking for. In being vulnerable, you overcome your fears. In being vulnerable, you overcome that discomfort. In being vulnerable, you are able to build connections out of it. Right? People sometimes say you got to test the waters before you open up. It is true to a certain extent. Right? It is true to a certain extent. But at the larger extent, it is not. Because we grow through it. We become stronger through it. We develop ourselves professionally through it. So if you are vulnerable at any point, because you asked for help, because you sought for help, because you opened up to somebody trying to get support, trying to get assistance, trying to get relief, and that person, or you think that person is going to use that against you, I'm here to tell you, never worry yourself about it. Because if nothing at all, you will grow through it. If nothing at all, you overcame that fear. If nothing at all, you overcame that discomfort that you found yourself in. Right? You overcame that. Vulnerability is not your weakness. It is your strength in its purest form. It is your strength. By embracing it, you unlock growth. By embracing it, you unlock resiliency. By embracing it, you form deeper connections. Right? I wrote certain points. I said, vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Right? It sounds like truth and feels like courage because truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they are never weaknesses. Right? Truth and strength, they are not always comfortable. That space for you to strive for that, it is not always comfortable. Right? That means that certain things that you used to do or certain spaces that you used to be in that you are comfortable in, you need to get out of there if you want to see yourself grow. You need to get out of there if you want to see yourself succeed. You need to get out of there if you want to see yourself thrive. The strength of vulnerability what we get out of being vulnerable to the situation, out of being open to what we are facing, out of accepting. See, sometimes vulnerability even has to do with our own self, right? Accepting that this thing that I am doing, or accepting that this space that I am in, I need help, right? Accepting that I need help is what we're talking about here, right? How often do we even accept that we are in need? How often do we accept that I am vulnerable? We hardly do that. But if we want to grow, if we want to succeed, if you want to build deeper connection, if you want to develop professionally, personally, we got to practice that, right? I said courage starts with you showing up and letting yourself to be seen. How often do you show up? Yes, I'm vulnerable. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm in this funky place, but I'm still gonna show up. How often do we do that? How often do we do that? How often do we do that? You good? All right, please go. Right? How often do we do that? I said only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness, we will cover or we will discover infinite power of our light. Right? How willing are you to step into the unknown? How willing are you to open up? How willing are you to even admit to your own self that I need help? Most of us, we don't do that. Most of us are putting on brave faces, and yet we are struggling, and yet we need help, and yet we need support. And I could say, I see you here. Lazy Jane, I see you here. TW Pax, I see you here. Guys, double tap for me. If you are on TT, double tap for me. Today we're trying something new by adding our TikTok to it to see how it goes. So welcome if you are new here. Right? How willing are you? Right? How willing are you to explore the things that you need to do to get that power, to get into that light, to get into that space that you're looking to be in? It is true that because of the actions of some people, people are afraid to be vulnerable. Not because they don't want to, but because of being afraid of what or how they will be perceived. But I'm here to encourage you this morning that it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter how they see you. Go on. Pick up that mantle. Be vulnerable to grow. Be vulnerable to see yourself succeed. Be vulnerable to ask for help. It is okay. Because it is only then that you will get to know what needs to be done and how to do it. Maybe you are doing it in a certain way and you are not getting the result that you want. So maybe by asking for support, by asking for help, you will be directed the right way. Right? It's okay to be vulnerable, because in doing so, you will find your strength. In doing so, you will find your inner strength to grow. It is okay. Right? It is okay. Because you cannot get to courage without walking through vulnerability. You cannot be brave without you being vulnerable to the situation. So I am afraid. That interview that I'm yet to go, I am afraid. You admitting it to yourself is you being vulnerable. You admitting it to yourself is you acknowledging the fact that, yes, I'm scared, I'm worried, but I'm going to do it anyways. The strength we find in being vulnerable, right? The strength we find in being open, in opening up to our situations, in opening up to saying or even saying to ourselves that I am at a point where I need help. I'm at a point where I need support. And being in need of help doesn't mean that you are begging. Being in need or being in need of help means that, oh, you need somebody to just direct you to the right place. Oh, if you do this thing this way, you will get the result that you need. Oh, I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still at the same space that I am, right? How do I get there? How do I move from point A to point B? That is you being vulnerable. That doesn't show that you are weak. That shows the strength you have, right? That shows the ability for you to learn. That shows your ability for you to get to the height you want to get to by seeking support, by seeking assistance. Because if we want to grow, we want to do things the right way. If we want to grow, we want to use everything possible that we have at our fingertips. So let them think you're weak. Let them think you don't know what you're doing. Let them think you're always seeking help one way or the other. Because you know what you're doing. So if it is that interview that you had to go, if it is that business you have to set up and you seeking support and you that person think that you are weak, let them think that way. Because eventually you seeking that help will get you a step closer to your goal, will get you a step closer to your dream, will get you a step closer to where you need to be. And by the time they realize you are here and they're still there, the same space that you met them, the same space that you asked for help for, because they didn't see no potentials in you, because they didn't see nothing good coming out of you, just because you were vulnerable enough to ask for help, right? Never ever doubt yourself, or never ever think that in you seeking help, in you seeking support, in you seeking assistance, you are weak. This morning I came here to encourage somebody that it doesn't matter what the optics look like. It doesn't matter what people think you are or see you for. When you are asking for support, when you are asking for assistance, when you are asking for advice, it doesn't matter how they see you. It does not. As a man thinketh, so is he. Right? We attract who we are. So yes, I'm going to be vulnerable in seeking support. I'm going to be vulnerable in asking what, come on, hi, right? I'm going to ask support for getting to that goal or being able to pass that exam. That doesn't make me weak. Guys, double tap for me. And let me know what your thoughts are, right? That doesn't make you weak. And if you don't know what this is a Dose of Encouragement Incorporated, right? We are a nonprofit, but one of our umbrella is supporting one another to grow, right? So we come your way every Saturday morning. And today we did something by adding our my personal TikTok to it to see how it goes, right? So we can incorporate that on our platforms as well. So you are welcome, right? Double tap for those for my folks on TT, double tap for us, right? So TikTok will know that we are still on live. Thank you so much for the support. And let me also know what you all think about the topic as well, right? Let me know what you think as well about the topic. Right? I said we reached the mountaintop. From the mountaintop, right? We start at the bottom and climb up. Right? That is Cyril. So start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how your today look like. As long as you have that vision, as long as you want to get on top, as long as you want, your dream is up here. If it means you seeking help, do it. If it means you seeking assistance, do it. It doesn't make you weak. If nothing at all, it makes you stronger. Oh, but Amanda, every time I ask for help from people, they laugh at me or they look down on me. Let them. Let them. Let them look down on you, and you get that support to gradually climb the ladder, gradually climb to the mountaintop. Let them. Because gradually, as I said earlier on, you will get up here, and that same person that looked down on you or that was laughing at you will still be here because they were too wrapped in you asking for help. They were too wrapped in laughing at you. They were too wrapped in looking down on you that they didn't realize you getting up to your goal. So let them. And you ask away. Let them. And you continue going. Let them. Find your strength in your vulnerability. Right? Find your strength in the love that you can show when you are fragile. Right? I said to share your weakness is to make yourself vulnerable. To make yourself vulnerable is to show your strength. So today, I'm vulnerable by telling you, I need a little help. I need a little push. I need a little support. Right? You helping me will get me up there. But me opening up to you doesn't make me weak. Do we get it? So what is that one thing that you want to do so bad, but yet you need help? And you think that when you open up to somebody for that help, they might look down on you. Because until you decide to get out of that comfort zone, until you decide to get out of that space where you okay, you're still gonna be here. Gather that courage to seek help. Gather that courage to ask for support. Gather that courage and move. It's okay. Because many times we are wrapped in our own issues. Many times we are here, down here, looking down upon ourselves. Many times we're here feeling weak because of what people will say, how people will look at us, how people would relate to us after we seeking support. But it is only then that you find your strength. It is only then that you find your voice. It is only then that you find the strength to move on. You find the strength to push through. You find the strength not only to keep going, but to do the things that you never thought it was possible to do. Finding your strength, finding your voice, being that magnet that attracts, right? Because guess what? What makes you vulnerable makes you beautiful. What makes you vulnerable makes you handsome. What makes you vulnerable makes you relatable, right? Because it is when you decide to be open, it is when you decide to seek support, seek help, seek assistance. That's when you realize that you're better off than somebody, right? Kevin, I see you here. H, I see you here. User Paul, I see you all on here. Guys, thank you for jumping on here and welcome, right? It is when you do that that you realize that, hey, I'm glad I am doing this. Right? So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to seek that help and find that strength. Find that inner peace. Right? Find that strength. Right? Because when you show up being vulnerable, that is when people trust you. When you show up not holding anything back. AL, I see you. Mr. I see you here. No, I see you here. That is when you build trust. That is when you build resilience. Right? I said the strongest person or the strongest people are those who are willing to show their wounds and scars because they are no longer afraid of them. The only strong person that I know is the person that is willing to show off their scars, to show off their wounds. Because guess what? Maybe before they were afraid of it, now they're not. Maybe before they were scared of it, now they're not. So the strongest person that you can ever know is the one that is willing to show forth how vulnerable he is. Show forth where he gets his strength from. Because now, not only has he been able or has she been able to overcome that fear, right? Now she is strong. Now she is resilient. Now he is resilient. Now nothing shakes him or her anymore. That is the kind of person you are or you become when you find your strength in your vulnerability. That is the kind of person that you become when you are able to say, okay, I might have been afraid before. No more. That's my boss man at the background. He's up early today. Yeah, it's great. Right? Because guess what? You admitting your failure is not your weakness. It is your stepping stone to that change that you need. It is your stepping stone to that phase, that level up that you need. So if I failed, it's okay. But don't stay there. If I failed, it's okay. I'm going to be vulnerable to seek support. I'm going to be vulnerable to seek help. To use that as a stepping stone to my next level. That is what we have to do. right? That is what we have to do. How are we using our failures? Being vulnerable enough to level up, right? Use that failure as a stepping stone to level up by finding your strength in your vulnerability, right? By finding your strength, right? That's my baby right there, distracting right here this morning. So why is it even important? Guys, double tap for me. To be vulnerable so that we can find our strength. Right? Why is it even important for us to do that? If we want to grow, we got to be vulnerable. We got to find that strength in our vulnerability. Right? I said, when we embrace vulnerability, we open ourselves to new opportunities for learning, for self-improvement. What are the things that I'm not able to learn? I wasn't able to learn before. How do I improve on it? Because I have accepted that that was my vulnerability, that was my weakness. How then do I move on? Keep learning. Keep building on you. I always say one step at a time, little drops of water. But it first has to start with you accepting it. Accepting and finding that space where you're weak. Develop it. Develop it to your ability. Because in being vulnerable, it also allows you to take risk. Good risk at that. Step out of that comfort zone. Grow from that experiences that you had. Because guess what? Every experience, we learn from it. So learn from that experience. Be vulnerable, learn from that experience and grow. Right? Thank you. Right? It is good to share your struggle. It is good to share your fears so that it can foster understanding and strength. Guys, double tap for me, right? It is important and it is good to share those struggles. Again, if people want to laugh at you, let them. Because by the time they realize you up here and they're still down there. So share your strength or your struggles and your fears, right? Because that will help you build understanding. That will help you build a stronger bond with either yourself, with either the people around you that will help you grow. Find that strength. Because I see many people letting their dreams and goals die off because they are afraid to be vulnerable. They are afraid to seek assistance. They are afraid to say, I am on this path to my goal. I am on this path to achieving my dream, but I'm scared. I was made fun of my whole life, of my whole time in high school. Now I'm 22 with 6 figures. There you go. There you go. Share those struggles. It doesn't matter. Let them laugh, as he said, right? Let them laugh at you. It doesn't matter. Because they will be too busy laughing at you that they wouldn't see how you level up. Right? Guys, if you want more of our of what we do, you can check us out on our website and on YouTube. DOEI. I'll put that in the chat, right? If you don't know what this is a Dose of Encouragement Inc. As I stated earlier on, our main goal or our main thing that we do is support the needy one way or the other that we can. We are a nonprofit, but one of our other umbrellas is to learn from each other with our live sessions, right? Interactive sessions at that. As I come your way every Saturday, you learn from me, I learn from you, right? If you don't know, my name is Amanda Kofiaye, and I am the founder and host of A Dose of Encouragement. So that is our website right there in the chat. You can check us out and look at what we are about, right? And you can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms. TikTok, we don't have one yet. This is my personal, and today I was trying this out to see how it goes, right? But we're mostly on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, Insta, right? You can, it's all A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated, right? A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. That is who we are, right? So let them do it. As he said in the chat, he said what? He was made fun of all his life in high school. Now he makes what? 6 figures. Because the people, guess what? If we could ask him, the people that were making fun of him, none of them are to his level. Right or wrong? Because they were too busy bullying people. They were too busy making fun of him. They were too busy laughing at him. Right? They were too busy. So allow them to be busy looking down on you, laughing at you. And you be vulnerable enough to seek help. You be vulnerable enough to ask for assistance and keep moving. Right? Keep moving. Right? Keep moving. Keep moving. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to seek help. It is okay to ask for directions or ask for help. And as I stated, share in your struggles and let that help you build understanding, strengthen your bond, build that resilience that you need. And what I wrote, I said, facing uncertainty and discomfort with courage makes you stronger. Because instead of avoiding that challenge, vulnerability will help you confront them. Right? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. I've been trying, but I cannot get the answers that I need. I've been trying, but I haven't gotten to the space that I need to get to. This is you acknowledging your weakness, acknowledging your flaws, acknowledging what you see wrong with the situation. Because that only makes you what? Build from there. Right? It only makes you build from there. I said every time we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we build emotional resilience and become better equipped to handle every setback. What are those setbacks that you are not able to handle? What are those flaws that you are not able to get over? What are those that you're not able to get your head wrapped around? And you think that you are a failure. You are not. And you think that nothing good will come out of you. You are not. And you think that you are at your you are at the end of your road. You are not. You might be down today, but you will surely be up. You might be down today. People might be looking down on you. People might think that, oh, she's a failure, he's a failure. Let them. Because by the time they realize what you've done, where you've gotten to, how you got there, there will be the same people coming to you, asking you, how did you do it? Asking you, how did you get there? Asking you, how did you get from here to there? Because I was here with you. Have you ever come in contact with a person that used to look down on you, and then they see you up here, and you're like, were you not the same person that was here? Were you not the same person that in school you weren't even passing your grades? That in college you weren't doing this? That in at work you were always flopping up? They never expected you to be vulnerable, to seek for help, to seek for support, to grow. They never thought that you will be able to not only be vulnerable and build, not only be vulnerable and succeed, not only be vulnerable and get up here. They never thought. Let me take a sip of water. Right? They never thought. Allow them. Your vulnerability is not your weakness. It is the foundation of your courage. It is the foundation of your strength. It is the foundation of your growth. It is the foundation, a meaningful connection that you are building. You might not be building this with anybody. You might be building it with your own self. So build it. Be vulnerable. Chauncey, thank you so much for hopping on here. Maddie, thank you so much for hopping on here. Right? It is the foundation to growth. It is the foundation to your success. It is the foundation to you building resiliency. Right? It's okay to be scared sometimes, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Right? Use that as a medium, as your vulnerability to grow. Right? Use that as a medium. Use that as a stepping stone. Take that bold step. Right? And learn from the failures. I always say that sometimes you got to take yourself out of the situation and look from afar. Christine, how are you doing? Loverboy, thank you so much for hopping on here. Sometimes that is what you have to do. Right? Learn from those failures. Build a stronger bond. Build a stronger relationship. Right? Build a stronger relationship. Number one, with your own self. Because it starts with you. If you are truthful and open to yourself, you'll be able to get the support that you need. And when I say be vulnerable, I'm not talking about you being sick and you being vulnerable. No. When it comes to your business, when it comes to your job, when it comes to the things that you love to do, when it comes to you getting to that dream, that goal, that height of yours, that is what we're talking about. Right? That is what we are talking about. Right? The strength of vulnerability is a path to growth, right? Is a path to growth, is a path to building you, is a path to building your dream, is a path to building that future that you're looking for. Christine, I see you back on here. Thanks for jumping on here. Right? It is a path to your growth. Because guess what? Vulnerability is not about winning or losing. Right? It is not about winning or losing. It is about you having the courage to show up even when you don't feel like it, so that you can be seen. When nobody has control over the outcome, when nobody has control over the narratives, right? Leading to you learning, leading to new innovations, and leading to transformation. So when nobody else is looking, when you think that, oh, they might say I lost, they might say I didn't do it. No, it's not about that. It's about the courage to step into your new self. It is about the courage to step into your new form. It is about the courage to step into the new goal. It is about the courage of using that failure as a stepping stone. Let's use it as a stepping stone. Let's use it as a space to grow. Let's use it as a space to build resilience. Let's use it as a space to build and foster connections and relationships. Because you will look back a month or two from now and you will say to yourself, I was vulnerable this time, but that did not stop me. I was vulnerable that time. That actually encouraged me to grow. That actually encouraged me to build. That actually encouraged me to do the things that I never thought possible to do. Build for you. Be vulnerable to build. Be at a space willing to build for you. Because in growing, there is vulnerability in there. In growing, there is acceptance in there. In growing, you got to be able to put all the variables on the table and picking out the wrong ones out. Being vulnerable. Being vulnerable to yourself. Being vulnerable to your situation. Being vulnerable to where you find yourself. Being vulnerable in order to adapt, in order to grow, in order to build. That is what we have to do. That is where you have to be. That is what you need to do. That is TT asking if I'm still here. Guys, if you hear double tap on TT for me. Double tap for me. Right? 06, how are you doing? That is what we have to do. So let's go out there this week using what we have or we find ourselves at as that stepping stone. Admitting what we need, looking for what we need, finding what needs to be part of our situation in order for us to grow, in order for us to develop, in order for us to build for ourselves. Because only you can do that. It is okay to sometimes feel like there is nothing good coming out of your way, but it is not okay to stay there. I tell my audience this all the time, right? It is not okay to stay there. So you are vulnerable, dig deep. You are stuck, dig deep. Find that little voice. Find that inner voice. Find that small voice that you have. Because even when your strength are failing, there is that little fight in you. So I don't want you giving up yet. Right? I don't want you throwing in the towel yet. I don't want you saying to yourself, oh, because I failed on that project, right? I will not be able to get here. Because I failed on that, I will not be able to get where. Because I failed. No, don't ever think that, right? Find that resilience that you're looking for, that strength that you're looking for, that ability that you're looking for. Find it. Find it. Because it's only then that you'll be able to find your strength. It is only then that you'll be able to build for you. It is only then that you would be able to get up and move. It is only then. Right? It is only then. Embrace vulnerability to grow. Embrace it to build connection. Embrace it to overcome that fear. Embrace it to unlock the things that you never think possible to do by yourself. Because once you do that, you realize that you have more strength than you ever think you do. Right? You have more than you ever think you do. Right? Allow them, as I said, to do them. And you keep seeking for that support. You keep building on you. You keep counting on that vulnerability of yours. Right? Before I go today, I leave you with this. You are stronger than you think. You are better than you think. You have to believe that. That even in my vulnerability, I am still strong. Even in my vulnerability, I am still good. Even in my vulnerability, I am still better. You got to believe that. Believe that for yourself and find that strength. Find that peace. Find that ability to rise again. Find that ability to grow again. Find that ability to push through again. Maybe something stopped you from even thinking about all this, from even thinking that you find strength in your vulnerability, for even think that you find strength in the things that have hit you. But find that strength, right? Find that ability. Build for you. And in doing so, find your strength. Find your voice. In being vulnerable, find your strength, find your voice. Because you are stronger than you think. And you need to keep on it. Right? You need to keep on it. So as we go out there this week, we are going to work on ourselves. We are going to find the ability to find that strength that we need. We are going to find the ability to find where we need to get to. Finding our strength, in our vulnerability. Right? Thank you so much for jumping on here with me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Amanda Krufi Aye, and this is a Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. Right? As I said earlier on, our main objective and our main mission is to support the needy as little as we can. Right? We do our social impact project every year, August to be precise, right? Where we go back home to Ghana to be precise, to support the orphanages, to support the women struggling, to support the widows, right? Because we believe in a heart that cares, to a hand that give. And one umbrella that we are also passionate about is helping ourselves to get to our God's given responsibility, to get to where God has ordained us to be by helping one another. Because we also believe in not leaving anybody behind, pulling everyone along. So with these motivation sessions, I come your way every Saturday to learn from you, and then you learning from me, right? So if you don't know me, that's my name, and I am the founder of A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated, and I am the host as well. You can reach out to us, or you can also tap in on with us on our social media handles of A Dose of Encouragement on Facebook, A Dose of Encouragement on YouTube and Instagram. And you can also reach out to us on adoei.org. I will put that in the chat for my TT family, right? You can look at that and get more about what we do, right? adoei.org. That's our website right there. You can look at us and let us know what you think, or let us know how you can be of support, or we can be of support to you. Right. So I will come your way again next week, God willing. For anybody that joined me here on TikTok today, thank you so much for jumping on here with me. As I said, it is the first time coming on my personal account. My business account, I'm always on there for my business, but on my personal account, this is the first time that I'm coming here for this A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. And I'm grateful for you jumping on here with me. To you, my audience on YouTube and Facebook, thank you so much for jumping on here anytime that I come your way. As I always say, let's keep this at the back of our heads, right? As we go through the week, let us continue to find ways and means, or to find the avenues to capitalize on our vulnerability while seeking strength, or whilst finding strength in all that we do. Miss, how are you? Miss say, how are you doing? Right? So let us go out there and find that strength in our vulnerability, in our space, in our own time, in our own ability, in our way, decisions that we make. Because guess what? Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak. If nothing at all, it makes you the strongest person on earth. So until I come your way, I sign out. Thank you all so much for jumping on here with me. And it is always a pleasure to come in your way. Bye for now. Teach me how to pray. Teach me how to worship right. Lord, I'm your baby. Teach me how to pray. The path that God has called you to, He will be with you. He will see you through. And it's not about trying to prove people right, because sometimes we miss it. Your life is unique in His hands. And so, yes, the path might look different. The dream might look scary, but He's going to be with you every step of the way. The path that God has called you to, He will be with you. He will see you through. And it's not about trying to prove people right, because sometimes we miss it. Your life is unique in His hands. And so, yes, the path might look different. The dream might look scary.